This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted cave no, I'm stuck in a haunted theater and I've seen Beast from Haunted Cave, a horror film from director Monte Hellman made back in 1959. At a ski resort, a small gang of crooks have a plan to rob a nearby bank of its gold, using a mineshaft explosion as a distraction and an unknowing local named Gil as their getaway guide through the snowy countryside. However, one of the henchmen accidentally wakes a beast lurking within the mine, pushing it to lurk after the group as they escape and make their way out of town. As the beast stalks from a distance, Gil finds himself at odds with the group, aware of their criminality. One of the crew is sympathetic and warns Gil that if he can't escape, he'll be killed, forcing the two to try and stage an escape of their own. Then the beast shows up. That's most of the movie right there. Yeah, this is one in a long series of B horror movies made on the cheap, destined to turn a profit just by playing in drive-in theaters for a week or two at most. The story almost seems designed around this, with a good portion set within a resort town, and thus cutting a few costs of production, with several other shots made on location in snowfields and forests to cut further expenses down. The story itself is also cut down to size, being just over an hour long and hitting all the most important plot points, no matter how contrived they come out in the end. There's no need for character development when personalities and allegiances are pretty much determined once the story begins, and once you catch on, you can pretty much coast through the rest of the film hoping that the monster comes by to pick off characters one by one. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. Instead, the crime drama becomes the forefront of the film, and the horror elements are almost literally left behind, sprinkled in every now and again until closer to the end of the story, when there's no point to the monster anymore, other than giving everybody an excuse to go into a cave. And it's not even the titular cave that the beast is allegedly from. That was a mine shaft. Anyways, the film has little going for it on a basic story level, and it has just as little in its creative design as well. Again, it's limited by pretty much whatever the filmmakers have on hand wherever they are, and when it comes to that sort of lack of detail, it shows. It should go without saying that working with whatever already exists is a concept that applies to the film's score as well. I mean, seriously, if it's not stock, then it's so bland that it may as well be. The beast itself is further evidence of how little money went into the film, with an appearance more akin to a haunted house mannequin covered in fake cobwebs. Thankfully, we don't get to see much of it, but not so little that the rest is left to our imagination. There is at least one silver lining in this film that makes it interesting, if only just barely so, and it's that there is a rather decent attention to cinematography and framing, enough that you can actually look at the movie, see what's going on, and recognize that somebody took the time to try and make scenes have a visual language of a sort. It's not perfect, but there are signs of effort, from the staging of background characters to some creative angles that are able to contrast the cast against their environment. But again, it's the only real sign of the filmmakers, or at least one of them, caring enough about the film to try. Everything else seems cobbled together from scraps, and the end result is an obvious mess, but it at least has a decent paint job. if that analogy makes sense. Beast from Haunted Cave, Monte Hellman, 1959. 1 star. I wouldn't recommend watching it, even if it does manage to look pretty at times. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Yeah, there really isn't much to save this movie. Well, unless you want something that's just over an hour in length. I guess that's something you can look forward to if you do watch it.